Howdy, Immortalium here, and you might remember that I was speaking about tokusatsu recently, and I was talking about, how I'd seen a bunch of movies, mainly kaiju ones, and I was interested in eventually being able to see some TV superhero tokusatsu stuff. Well, I was going through Twitter around that time, and I noticed that someone was mentioning that there was an Ultraman sale in America. Now, even when ordering through Amazon, it still proved to be quite expensive. But I did, look around, and on eBay I found a pretty good seller who was selling new copies of Ultraman series for a relatively low price. Obviously, living here in Ireland, there was some decent costs when it came to the actual shipping, but it still proved to be cheaper than actually ordering through Amazon. So I thought something that might be interesting to do today is to unbox these series while having a little bit of discussion about them, and then to actually test whether they work in my Blu-ray player. Because as far as I can tell, examining the discourse online, it seems that these should be able to work in my player. But of course, I think it would actually be quite interesting to actually give that a try. So without further ado, let me show you what I picked up. So I ended up picking up 6 Ultraman series, or well, I should probably say Ultra series, considering the first one, but I'll get onto that in a little bit. Technically, there should be 7 of these, but Ultra 7, which is the 3rd Ultraman series, or Ultra series, was quite pricey compared to the other one, so I didn't end up picking that up. I do want to be able to, watch Ultra 7 someday, but, at a more reasonable price. But I still think this is a really strong start to experiencing this franchise. So, first off, the first one is called Ultra Q. Now, Ultra Q is a series that is a little different to the rest of the franchise. For one, it doesn't have Ultraman in it at all. Instead, we're following these investigators as they come across all these weird situations which usually involve giant monsters. This was created by Eiji Tsuburaya, who, if you're unfamiliar with that name, he's the one who did the special effects for a lot of the Toho kaiju movies. So for instance, the first, I believe it was 9 Godzilla movies, he did the special effects. He did the special effects for Mothra, as well as a whole bunch of other Toho films. Very important man. But also, interestingly, I heard about this series in particular when I was reading the Osamu Tezuka story. In the Osamu Tezuka story, there's a little bit where Osamu Tezuka, he's created the Wonder 3 anime, and it turns out that at the same time that he was airing his anime, his show, Eiji Tsuburaya came out with this, and this performed unbelievably well. This pretty much stomped down on Wonder 3. Wonder 3, I think, from what I can gather, was still quite successful, but nowhere near as successful as this. So, quite fascinating from that perspective. So, let's begin by opening this. So you can see first off that there's this pretty nice cover around the box. Quite like this. It looks quite impressive when on the shelf, and that's something I'll actually get onto in a little bit. But in addition to that, we get this book, which is very nice. I remember hearing about this. Apparently this is the only real extra. I don't believe there's any on-disc extras for these, which is quite a shame. But there is actually quite a wealth of information within here about the episodes, about the series itself. It's quite a nice little supplement, and I'm always happy to be able to see something like this included. That's pretty awesome. Of course, it would have been nice to have some on-disc extras too, but what can you do? So we have a shot of these monsters. Interestingly, these are in color. It looks like they're in color, despite the fact that the series is in black and white. Maybe it's just for promotional artwork, I'm not sure. We have a digital redemption one, which I'll just hide because, well, for one, I probably can't use it, but also I just don't want anyone to actually be able to see the code. So we have the series spread out across multiple discs. And of course, when I got something like this for quite cheap, I was a bit worried that these discs would actually be overlaid on top of each other. So it's very nice to see that they actually went and bothered to actually put them on individual disc trays. That's pretty awesome. So, not the most comprehensive release in the world, but for the price that I paid for it, I'm pretty happy to be able to finally watch this someday. After that, we have, of course, the original, the one that It didn't quite start it all. That really did start it all. In fact, this classic series that started it all was written on the box. But this is the one that introduced Ultraman, who ended up, of course, becoming the kind of face of the franchise. Almost everything in the franchise revolves around Ultraman. It's very rare when he isn't involved. So I'll just quickly open this. So similarly to Ultra Q, we have a little booklet that comes with it. This one I'm less familiar with because I was mainly looking at the Ultra Q one before. But if I quickly flick through it, you can see there does look to be like quite a bit of information contained in this, which is pretty awesome. Now, a lot of this will just be the episode guide, but that's fine. So while it's certainly not the most in-depth thing in the world, it's something that I'm quite appreciative of. There's probably a good wealth of information about Ultraman in here, so that's fantastic. As for the actual box set itself, as you can see, we have Ultraman on the cover, we have a few of the kaiju that he ends up fighting on the back, and if we open it up, as I did before, I'm going to hide the digital redemption card even though probably can't use it. Now this series was quite a bit longer than Ultra Q in terms of episode counts. So of course we have more discs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's, yeah, 39 episodes spread across 6 discs. I should probably say, I think Ultra Q was 28 episodes across 4 discs. So again, this is such an important series. This is one that created a massive franchise, one of the most valuable franchises in the world in terms of merchandising. So of course I'm going to be super excited to be able to check this out, to learn more about who Ultraman is, and to be able to see the kind of impact that he has had on Japanese popular culture. Now, it was around here that Ultra 7 should have been, which is quite unfortunate, but what can you do? I wanted to get it at a good price and it was just too expensive when I was ordering this stuff. So next up we've got Return of Ultraman, which, I mean, the name says it all, doesn't it? Since I presume the releases are going to be quite repetitive from this point onwards, I'm going to quickly go through these and then we're going to actually test to see if it actually works on my Blu-ray player. Here's the book, which again contains information and episode guides about this. Of course, you know, as usual, this information is great. They've released a lot of content onto a relatively cheap release. This is 51 episodes spread across how many discs now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 discs again, actually. That's quite interesting to me. After that we have Ultraman Ace, which I believe is 52 episodes. And I believe from this point onwards it may be 52 episodes. We'll definitely see about that. So with regards to the book, this one actually feels a little thinner than the other ones. I'm not sure exactly why that is, and I don't even know if it's actually correct. I haven't been counting the pages. But again, at least there is some good information regarding Ultraman Ace. And this is quite nice covers for this. We have Ultraman Ace, of course. We have a kaiju that they end up fighting. And we have the entire 52 episodes spread across 6 discs again. I do find that quite fascinating. 52 episodes across 6 discs. I'll just have to see what that's like. But these are short enough, I believe. I believe these are only like 20-ish minute episodes, so it does make sense actually that they could have quite a few episodes on each disc. After that we have Ultraman Taro, which actually the back here says 53 episodes, so I was wrong about those 52 episodes. Yeah, this book feels more weighty than the Ace one, which is quite interesting. So as seems to be the format for some of these now, we have Ultraman Taro on the front and one of the monsters that he fights on the back. And again, we have the entire 53 episode series across 6 discs. Now finally we have Ultraman Leo, which I believe that it was quite a while actually. There was like a bit of a hiatus after this in terms of Ultraman content, so this could consider, you know, with the exception of course of Ultra 7, this could be considered to be the first overall incarnation of Ultraman, which is quite epic. So this is the book for Ultraman Leo, and it is just as I suspected. It is a 51 episode series spread out across, of course, 6 discs. So, you know, nice enough releases. Obviously, you know, more on-disc extras would have been appreciated, but I do love the fact it comes with a book, and the book actually does contain a couple of pages of series production information, you know, which of course is wonderful. So just before we get to the segment where I test a couple of these in my Blu-ray player, I do want to show one other very nice detail. Unfortunately, this is going to be corrupted slightly by the fact that I don't have Ultra 7. So if we line up these Ultraman series here, you will see that with the exception of the one in between these two, they form a little image, an image that will look very nice on the shelf, I think. I always love it when publishers, whether they be for DVD and Blu-ray or books or anything, go a little bit out of their way to make something that'll look really nice on a collector's shelf. So I really do love that little detail, and it's another reason why I'd love to be able to get Ultra 7 to put in here someday, not just to see the show, but to just finish out this very nice picture down here. So having said all that, let's take a look at whether these work in my Blu-ray player. So here we go, the moment of truth. Let's see if what I read on the internet is actually correct. Do these Blu-rays work in my Region B Blu-ray player? Let's take a quick glance. So putting in the first disc of Ultra Q right now, what I'm intending to do here is I'll just test every second series. So after this, I believe will be Return of Ultraman, just to see if it changed at all in between releases. Let's take a look and see if it actually comes up. So far it's looking good. And there we go. It looks like it does work, which of course is fantastic news. So now for the first disc of Return of Ultraman. Of course, I fully expect this to work just as well as Ultra Q, but of course I just want to make sure that, over the course of these releases, that Mill Creek didn't do something that suddenly changed everything. So let's take a look. And there we go. Looks like it works just as well as Ultra Q. So the last one I'll test is Ultraman Taro, just to make sure that the ones near the end do work as well. So here we go. The last test I'm doing, first disc of Ultraman Taro. And let's see if this works just as well as the other two. And there we go. It works as well. So it seems that the information that I got online was in fact true. So anyone with a Region B Blu-ray player, just like me, can comfortably purchase these series without any worries about whether or not they do in fact work on the player, which of course is fantastic. So that was my unboxing and testing of the Ultraman series I picked up from America. And of course I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts about the Ultraman franchise, or I believe it's called the Ultra franchise. Have you seen any series or movies associated with the Ultra series? And if you have, what did you think of them? Did you like them or dislike them, and why? Have you picked up any of these box sets? Like, what do you think of Mill Creek Entertainment's releases of these series? What about the impact of Ultraman on Japanese popular culture? That is quite an area to examine in and of itself. And of course, if you have any additional information about Ultraman, about Mill Creek Entertainment, etc., please leave it in the comments below. And of course, if you want to support the channel, I would encourage you to purchase your anime manga, maybe your tokusatsu, through my Amazon and Right Stuf affiliate links in the description below. When you purchase anime manga and tokusatsu through those affiliate links, not only supporting me, not only supporting the channel, but you're also supporting the anime manga and tokusatsu industry. So of course I would fully encourage you to use those affiliate links. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and bye bye.